before asking.
Ethan Grant's catch coverage. Robert, what was working out there for you today? You came in there in tough situation and pitched 3 shutout innings.
I guess the thing is just throwing strikes. That was the biggest thing, just being able to throw every pitch for a strike. That keeps the hitters off balance. And I have a unbelievable defense behind me, so it's easy to pitch when you have guys like G behind me and James. Like they're getting the balls that not a lot of teams can, so it's a lot easier to pitch like that.
Up front.
Daniel Hager, Kentucky Sports Radio. James, you entered the game in a bit of a slump, but you got a home run and a double. What kind of changed in your approach today?
I was about 3 hours down here with Coach Minch, just working on a bunch of fields. I mean, doing a bunch of crazy stuff, and I just thank him for all everything he pours into us. And Reeves was down there with us too. So, yeah, that was really cool.
Yes, John.
John held earlier. Robert, 50 pitches today. Just what's kind of your availability for the rest of the weekend?
So I'm gonna get some rest tonight, do some recovery, probably do a light day tomorrow or take it off no throw, and then I'll be ready for Sunday.
Yeah, back.
For both of you guys, Michael Epps, Flash 56. What was it like playing postseason baseball here, this regional?
Yeah, it's really cool, seeing all the fans come out, and they kind of rush in the gates there right when they opened in BP. Like we were running in from doing our defensive work, but it's cool just to see the rush into all the terraces there, and they have our backs the whole game.
Yeah, I would say that it's pretty cool. BBN's pretty awesome. Being here is probably the greatest decision I've ever made. I couldn't thank Mingione enough, and like this place, what it means to me. And so playing postseason baseball here, it means a lot.
John Clay, Herald Leader. Following up on that, what does that do for you guys when you've got a crowd like that, as you mentioned, the way they showed up and supporting you playing at home? What does that do for you during a game?
Yeah, it just puts the focus like on the front of the jersey. The Big Blue Nation, everyone. They come out and support us when weather's raining. I mean, it was Vandy, and I was getting there. I was out in right getting soaked, and everyone else is still in the outfield with me, and they're not running for cover, but they pour their hearts in us, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff.
Jeff Drummond, Rivals. James, what did you see on the home run pitch? And it looked like it was quite a laser shot.
Yeah.
It didn't get very high off the ground.
Yeah, I saw a slider the pitch before, and it was called a ball, and he came back to it, so I felt good swinging at it. And when I first hit it, I thought it was going to maybe hook a little bit more foul, so I kind of got out of the box, and I was like, oh, that's foul. And then a couple more steps, like, oh, that's fair. So I kind of, it was cool to see it go over.
Back here, Dick.
Dick Gabriel, Big Blue Insider. James, you've been with the program for a while. This is such a great opportunity, obviously, one game at a time, but what kind of pressure, if any, are you guys feeling to take advantage of this?
I don't think there's much pressure. We prepare like for these games, or if bigger stakes, and we just focus on preparing and preparing the best that we can. So.
Paul Novielli, 102.7 The Game, Bleed Blue Network. Obviously, the fifth inning, they kind of come storming back, threatening, putting a lot of pressure on you guys. Really, that whole inning, what's the mood in the dugout right after that to make sure that you guys come out and answer, really, and kind of grab momentum back and kind of seize control of the game again?
I mean, I would say for us, the biggest thing is just staying with us. We don't like to see what they're doing, and I mean, if they score, then like we're gonna score right back, or we're just gonna keep trying to lift each other up. We're not gonna try and have any time in the game where we're down. That's our biggest thing. Is we like in the dugout, we like to be up, no matter what the score is. If we're up, if we're down, we're always gonna be up in the dugout having fun.
Yep, over there.
Michael Preston, NCAA.com. For both of you, how valuable is it with what you guys have to go through on a weekly basis when you're playing in your conference? How valuable is that now when you get into this kind of situation?
I mean, I would say it definitely is valuable. But the team we played today, like you saw, they were resilient. They came out attacking, and then, I mean, they almost came back, So, but having the experience we do in the SEC, it definitely helps to where we can stop it and we know what we are. I mean, it's the best conference in the country. I mean, it says it for itself,
Yeah, I agree with that. It's week in, week out. SEC. It's it's a tough schedule, no matter who you're playing, really. And it's interesting. Coach Minge always says, you know, those games all count the same, and it just prepares you because week in, week out, it's, you know, tough team and tough lineups every day. So, and then you get to the game today, and you know they're a tough lineup too, and they took advantage of our mistakes, and it's just a matter of, you know, we've been through it before. We've been through it for 10 weeks in the SEC, so we know how to battle it and come back.
Down front, right here.
Now, Ryan Black with the Louisville Courier-Journal. James, in your first answer, you kind of mentioned that being down here with Coach Minge for about 3 hours doing a bunch of crazy stuff is kind of what helped a little bit today. Can you, without maybe giving away secrets, can you kind of describe what some of this crazy stuff and what was it that clicked from that?
I think one of the craziest thing was like if this is the plate here, we put a tee like where Reeves is, and I'm standing there, and he's like, "All right, I want you to hit this ball off this tee, like at Ammo's over here." And it was swing and miss. It was like, ooh, that looked weird. But then it was like, you know, I feel something, and you know, baseball's all about adjustments and just having feel with your swing, and you know, figuring out those adjustments and what's working.
John Wong, NOLA Media. Robert, can you talk a little bit about Dominic's performance and what that means to the team?
Yeah, so that was awesome. Being able to see him and go out there and absolutely dominate. He's one of those guys that we needed that to happen. And having him come out today and do that and give us those innings, it saves arms for this weekend. And so now we have a lot of guys for tomorrow. I mean, and it's just something where we can all build off that. We can all build off each other, and we know we trust everyone who gets the ball.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Yeah, Becky.
So one more. This one's for Robert though. As a kid, you probably dreamed playing, you know, in the playoffs or postseason baseball on the mound, trying to get that final out. What was that like today in front of this home crowd, when that, you know, when you can finally tell, hey, we're gonna win this thing, we're gonna get out of it, right? What's that going through your mind, and was it everything you probably thought of as a kid, being on the mound for that final out in a game like that would be?
I mean, I guess I can't. It kind of makes me speechless because I didn't really have any thoughts. I was just like, you know, I'm just getting this out, you know. And I mean, it's one of those things where playing baseball is hard, and it's like every other game. I mean, there was a lot of people, and I mean, every weekend we have it, and it's not like I thought of it. It's just another weekend. It's another weekend in playing baseball, having fun.
Robert, you have played a lot of baseball. You came here, you bet on yourself, you came through the portal, and you played a big role all year. What has it meant to you to be a part of this and help lift this program to a place it's never been before?
It's a pretty special feeling. I mean, this place is unreal. And like I've said before, there's no place I'd rather be right now than here in Kentucky, playing for this school in this state. The guys, too, they're my brothers. And I don't know what else to say. It's just pretty awesome being here and being able to play for these guys, Coach Minge, everyone. It's like nothing I could ever ask for.
Any more for student athletes? All right, guys, thank you. You're free to go.
Get that
Thank
water.
you.
Do you need another one, James?
That's okay.
Oh, thank you.
Coach, sorry, I did not give you an opening statement.
No, that's
So,
all right.
Opening statement from Coach that I forgot. Go ahead.
When they opened them gates about 90 minutes before, just to watch our fans, like, just rush to get to their spots, it was a surreal feeling. I've been to another place where it's been like that, but we hadn't had that yet. And so I first off want to thank our fans for showing up in the sun and the heat. They showed up. It was 90 minutes, I believe. It was 90 minutes before the game, and they were waiting to sit there. They waited an hour and a half until the games even started. And then they sat through, how long was that game? Somebody help me. 3.5 almost? 3.5? So our fans, they sat there for 5 hours. So just super thankful to them. I thought Dom gave us a great start. He went 4 shutout to start, and then give them a lot of credit. They started putting balls in play. With 2 strikes, they just flicked balls, hit it really, quite frankly, where we weren't. And that's a really good team. They're champions for a reason. So, but I thought Don, he got us a lot of big outs. I thought Cam O'Brien, the job that he did to come in the 5th was crucial, where we were able to minimize. Thought Evan Byers got us 2 outs. Then obviously Hogan was fantastic, got us 10 outs. And they had their chances. Give them a lot of credit. They put a lot of pressure on us. But I give our guys credit. We bent, but we didn't break. So they did score in 2 innings, but they didn't score in the other 7. And I thought that was the difference in the game.
Nick, Michael F. 566. Was there a little nail biting there? I mean, it was close there. It was tight. And does that kind of give a wake-up call to the guys? Like, at this point, every single team is going to be good.
You know, you guys have watched us play. How many times we've been in that same game? I just feel like we've been there so many times. I don't bite my nails. My wife's proud. Reeves, do you still bite yours or are you good? No. All right, Reeves stopped biting. So no one, I know Kristen doesn't bite her nails, so no one in our family bites her nails. But was it, man, intense and every play and every inch mattered? Absolutely. But to our point the other day, we've been in those games for 15 weeks. So this is the 16th week of it. So I thought our guys absolutely responded. You know, I thought a big moment in the game was in the 5th. They score 5, and then we immediately score 2, and I thought that was the difference in the game. They immediately score 5, and we answer back with 2. I thought that was big.
Right there.
Ethan Grant, Scott's coverage. So Devin Burks, he's had his ups and downs all year, but just leave it off right where he left off last year in the regional. Can you just talk about how he played today?
The guy is just clutch. He had 4 key blocks, kept the game in front the entire time. And every one of those blocks saved us a base, which ultimately saved us a run. So I thought his leadership was fantastic. His verbal and nonverbal behind the plate is absolutely crucial. And there's a reason why we bat him in a 3-hole. You know, I think you can look at stats and other things, but that guy is as tough and he's as clutch as anybody in our program. So he was 5 for 5 today, quality at-bats. It was 5 for 5. Every at-bat, he did something positive for Kentucky. So I thought that was good. And then, you know, I thought the production up and down our lineup was crucial. I talked about our pitching. I mentioned some of our defense, but we had 7 different guys that had an RBI. 7. And if you look at what our 7, 8, and 9 guys did, they scored 5 of our 10 runs between those guys. So I think anytime you have that kind of production up and down the lineup, it obviously makes us hard to beat. And we were able to do it all. We hit bunts, bombs, ran the bases, stolen bases, got thrown out a couple times being aggressive, but we were on the full-on attack. We drew walks, we got hit by pitches, and we hit on a lot of cylinders offensively.
Far left.
Michael Preston, NCAA.com. Today starts a journey for a lot of teams who are hoping it goes for 2 or 3 weeks and ends up in Omaha. When you had a program that's had a lot of success but has never been there, can you talk about the hunger of the people who were coming in those stands 90 minutes before, your hunger, your players' hunger to get to a place this place has never been?
Yeah. Been a lot of work, a lot of ups and downs. I've learned a lot as a coach. I haven't been perfect. But the one thing I will say is that as our program has continued to try to climb and make adjustments and get better, our fans have done the same thing. And you can just see year after year, you can just see it building from the end of 22 to last year to this year. And I want to compliment this team, and you guys have heard me say this a lot. They are so good at moving on to the next thing. Like, we talk all the time. You've heard us say about this win will expire at midnight, and it will. They move on immediately. And that's how, you know, this year we look up and at one point we're 15-1 in the league. It's like, it's incredible. How are you able to do that? And if I told our team, hey, we better go 15-1 at the beginning of the year, they'd be like, Coach, you're crazy. But they've literally have taken each game and they move on and they say next, and it's a new day. Win or lose, next. And ultimately, it's a lot like building a house. You really have to do it, a brick house. You do have to do it 1 brick at a time. And you got to keep laying them. And when one gets off, you got to reset it and get it going. And you just keep going. And then by the time you look up, and you do that enough times for a long enough period of time, after a while you look up and you're like, wow, look at this. We've built a mansion. But you can only do it 1 brick at a time. And that's what we've attempted to do.
Bert Green, D1 Baseball. Coach, you talked about the fifth inning, and I think going into that inning, Dom had only given up one hit, and I think we all agree he pitched better than the stat line. They had three infield base hits and a bloop that inning, scored 5 runs. How do you keep the guys from getting frustrated, or yourself from getting frustrated, when teams are doing those frustrating things to you that you've been doing to them all season long?
Yeah, that's where it's our ability to move on. I thought it helped, you know, because I did not think Dom got frustrated. I thought he just kept making his pitch, and then it was like, boom, they put the ball in play, give him credit. Boom, they put it in play. But I thought he held true to who he was. He didn't get frustrated. And you're right, that's us at our best, where we're putting balls in play and creating pressure and making plays. So I thought he did that, and I thought Cam, he settled that game too. Cam O'Brien, he did what he's done all year. He's been our fireman. Every time it gets to a spot where we need to bring in a fireman, boom, and it gets hairy, he's right there. And I thought they held it together. And I also, again, like how we responded right after. You know, to score 2 immediately, I thought that was crucial. Yeah.
Yeah, John. Hale?
Nick, obviously when you're up 8-0, it looks like maybe you're going to be able to make it out today without using any of your top relievers. You have to do what you have to do to win the game.
Yes.
But how do you feel about the pitching situation for the rest of the week?
Yeah, you know, if you asked me before the game, how was it going to go? It was going to go Dom to Hogan. And we used Cam in between there, and we used Evan, who got us, obviously, 2 outs. And you could see Hoagie was starting to run on fumes there at the end. So I even think those 2 outs by Evan Byers was big, you know. So, but that was the plan, to go right to Dom, right to Hogan. So would it have been nice, up 8-0, to try to put the game away? Yes, but that's a good team. That's a good team. And it was going to be hard to put them away. And if you look at that team, how many times they scored 8 or more runs in their last 15 games, it's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. So I knew deep down that they were going to make their run and their push. And it played out the way we wanted with Hogan.
Nick, kind of follow up on Mike's question. Obviously, as a number 2 overall seed, you're very capable of getting where you want to go. But how do you keep the guys loose and concentrate on the goal, but also have fun and play loose?
Yeah. They've actually done that all year. And there's a couple times where I got to be honest, John, like I'm looking down and I'm like, do I want to look down and see what they're doing? I'm like, they're like, you know what I mean? Like, I really don't have to really coach that as much with this group because they're keeping it loose. Today I saw the cap stack. I don't know if you saw that. This was new, but they mixed in camo. Did you guys catch that? It was like regular cap, then a camo cap, then a regular cap, then a camo. And like they brought the camo. I saw them sitting on the bench. I'm like, early in the game, I'm like, I bet that's for the cap stack. Whenever we do that, like, so they're thinking ahead. I saw Jackson Novi today. John, I really look. I'm walking down the dugout. I'm getting ready to coach, and I was like, Jackson Novi had full catcher's gear on, left-handed pitcher. I'm like, all right, they're loose. Like, they're loose. So we need them to keep playing that way. But it all starts. They can only be loose if they compete first, and they know that. It starts. That is the building block of anything we do. You have to compete at the highest level. Yeah.
Coach, expanding on Dom, what kind of went in that decision for him to start today?
Well, our starters, you guys know this. Those that have followed our program closely, you've been there, I think, about every game. We've gotten a lot of mileage out of our starters. They have thrown a bulk of innings. And when we're at our best, they take us deep into the game. Well, they've done that. So, therefore, they've thrown a good bit. And so we chose to not throw Dom as much in the SEC tournament. If you remember, we threw him for maybe an inning to get out of there. And he was kind of not beat up, but it's just there's some things that going on. So we really gave him some good rest. And I give Coach Rozelle credit. Him and Don worked this past week and actually moved Dom on the rubber some. And I thought that adjustment really helped, you know. And that's the thing. I just compliment our guys. James, we tried like honestly 30 different things with him. 30 different things to get him these different feels. And you would put a ball over here, and you got to hit the ball over there. Then I put a ball on a tee over here and said, okay, try your hands right here. Okay, put your elbows together. Spread your feet out. Spread out. Get your hip in there a little more. Try that. And it's like back and forth. And it's like, all right, do circles. Okay, angle your bat this way. James, try that. Nope, that didn't work. Okay, grab this stick right here, this big PVC pipe. Swing that thing. Okay, you hear the swoosh? Okay, try that. Nope, that didn't work. Okay, I'm going to hold your hip right here. And like you're going to swing. And it was like, it was a marathon. But to his credit, he just wanted to be coached, and he wanted to figure it out. And same thing with Dom. I give him a lot of credit. He made an adjustment on the rubber, and it paid big dividends. So I appreciate it about our team. They're always trying to get better, all of them. Even the guys on the bench are finding ways to get in there. And we have good players that didn't get a chance to get in, but they'll be ready when their time's called. But they work.
Nick, what's the difference in mentality, if any, from the position you were in last season and had to fight out of and taking care of the first game this season?
Game 2 has been our deal. In 17, we won the first game, lost the second one. In 23, won the first one, lose the second one. So we've got to be able to weigh, to win a regional, you know this, you can win it in 3 games or you got to do it in 5. So we haven't done, in those 2 years, we have not won the second game. That has been our biggest challenge. So now we have Poos and Memo both available, rested, on good rest, to try to win the second game against a really good team. Guys, this has been a really cool 5 days. Really cool 5 days. We had our selection show with our #2 national seed.